So if you're anything like me, you're probably curious, why is cycling so prevalent in motocross and supercross? It feels like all the top guys are doing it. Is it all fluff? Is it all hype? Or is there something to it? Well, I did a little deep dive. I compiled some reasons, some for cycling, some against cycling, and let's get into it right now. By the way, if you want to know who I am, my name is Jacob Panisi. I'm the fitness director at Millsaps Training Facility. If you don't care who I am, then just ignore that and watch the video. So why is cycling so popular then? A few reasons. The most popular trainers in our sport right now are South African cyclists, right? We have Alden Baker, Gareth Swanepoel, and a lot of people seem to know Tyler Rattray. They're all from South Africa. They all have a background in cycling. Alden Baker, for instance, was a professional cyclist. He never actually raced a dirt bike before, not even professionally, just at all. So these guys understand cycling. It's their preferred method of cardio. They also understand the next few practical reasons I'm gonna list out for you guys. This is what they bring to the guys that they train. And they just so happen to train a lot of the top guys in the sport. So then what do we see? We see all the top guys winning, and we know that they're doing road cycling for their cardio. So then we think, if that's what the top guys are doing that are winning, then if I do that, I will by default win also. It's not actually that simple, and a lot of us find that out pretty quickly. So another reason why cycling is so popular is it's just extremely practical. It's low impact, it does very little damage to the body. You can do it multiple days in a row with almost no building fatigue. Right? Running, you typically will run a couple days in a row, you get very sore, lots of damage to the body. We'll talk more about running in a moment. Cycling has none of that. There's also a very low barrier to entry. All you need is a bicycle and a road. Or you go to any gym in the world and it's gonna have some sort of stationary cycle. Cycling is also most taxing to the lower body, which is, I guess you could say, good for motocross because it's a very lower body dominated sport. Good riders tend to use their legs more than their arms, and the legs are really what controls the dirt bike, or at least it should. And for whatever reason, it keeps it on two wheels. I don't know if it's a mental thing, maybe it's a placebo, but the guys ride dirt bikes, they ride two wheels for a living, they like to keep it on two wheels, and basically it's just fun, right? Like you can go outside, you can go in groups, you get your buddies, you make it a competition, you can go on Zwift rides, which Zwift, if you don't know what that is basically like a video game for cycling. And who doesn't love video games, right? I know I do. Now, do I think it's the best form of cardio? Yes and no. The previously listed reasons make a pretty good case. If we're talking strictly what is best for fitness, then no. I think that there are better options out there. One good alternative to cycling is actually swimming. Riding is not only lower body. You actually, compared to other sports, motocross and supercross riders need a great deal of upper body endurance. And despite what most trainers say about if you train upper body, then you will just get tons of arm pump and then you may die. No, I'm just kidding. But not really. Swimming, on the other hand, is full body. It's low impact as well. But could you imagine how less likely you are to do it? That's the difference. Could you imagine that every day, instead of doing an hour cycle, you swim for an hour? Swimming is totally different than cycling in that you can't entertain yourself very easily while you do it. I know they make some waterproof headphones, which is great. I know a lot of people that like to watch videos, watch movies, there's just countless ways to distract yourself while you're doing your cardio, which I think is very important for success. It's very monotonous, it gets very boring. So you have to have something that kind of helps you get through it. However, I think that if the most popular riders, if the riders that were winning were doing swimming instead of cycling, I think that swimming would be arguably more popular than cycling, and it would for sure be more common. I bet until this video, you didn't even consider swimming as an option for cardio. Now, in terms of cycling, if we're talking about what is practical, reasonable, and still does a great job, it seems to be a pretty good option. Now, running. Running is sort of the other heavy hitter. Running also ticks a lot of boxes. It's very practical. All you need is some shoes and a place to run, or a treadmill, which is located in every gym ever. You get great results for the amount of time that you invest. Running, I always tell people, is the most bang for your buck. You get the most output for the least amount of input, right? It's very, very time efficient. And it's also full body cardio with a little bit of a lower body bias, which is perfect because motocross is a full body sport with a little bit of a lower body bias. However, running is very high impact, and not everybody can run. I have so many guys that they're missing their ACL. They had their ACL repaired and the doctor said no running. I've had people with broken ankles that had surgery and now they have plates and hardware in their ankles, and it's just physically, it's very painful for them to run. So that makes it a lot less practical for most riders, especially ones that have some history of injury. But if you're healthy and you like to run, I think it's a great opportunity for cross training. I love running. Running is my go-to, it's my favorite. Cycling is a great option, but most forms of cardio will get the job done. It highly depends on what you like to do, what you're physically able to do, and then with any form of cardio, if you, A, challenge yourself, which just basically means make it hard, and you train smart, right, utilizing different training zones with different adaptation objectives. By that, I mean training low intensity, zone 2, for long periods of time, and then integrating different types of high intensity interval training or threshold training. If you use those variables and you just stay consistent over a long enough time horizon, or basically just a long enough time period, you will get fitter, which in general will help you ride better because you will just be a better athlete overall. I firmly believe there's a million ways to skin a cat. Cycling is one option. I think you can make anything work if you train hard and you stay consistent. Now, if you're like me and you don't really like worrying about your own program, you'd rather have somebody else handle that so that you can just focus on training, we do offer MTF online training. I tell you exactly what to do for cardio, strength training. We even tell you what to do for riding if that's the program that you choose. It's a great option. Links are always down in the description. Check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.